Well, it's just gone 6:15 in the morning and we're here at Edinburgh Waverley, Scotland's second busiest railway station. I'm surprised to see there's quite a lot of people already milling about, lots of those with suitcases and bags. We're off to Oban and it's one of my first train journeys in quite a long time. I'm looking forward to it. Well, that's woken me up at this time of the morning. £47 for an anytime single to Oban from Edinburgh. This route between Edinburgh and Glasgow has always been one of the busiest in Scotland. Before the pandemic, there were 126 services running every day, compared to just 72 now. And as we're already seeing today, passenger numbers are far from what they used to be. Before coming on this train, we commissioned a survey asking Scots what they think about public transport. Cost and reliability were two of the main things putting people off. So what do passengers on this train make of that?
Absolute extortion. We pay enough in tax and they should be doing more to lower the prices if they want us to keep using it. And the only reason why I use a train is because it's a faster service.
How much are you spending every month on your rail travel?
£113 when I'm using the bus and around £420 when I'm using the train.
How does it make you feel when you're looking at your bank balance every month?
It feels horrific. And if they're going to be complaining about fare dodgers, they've only got themselves to blame.
This is a £17 Club 50 up to Malay today. So
what do you make of that price then?
That's very good, that's excellent. It certainly is very comfortable and it's much better than the M8 in the car.
So do you feel safe?
Yeah, I feel safe in the train, yeah because on lockdown 1 I think they increased the number of carriages per train, so there was plenty of space.
Well, that's the first leg of the journey done. We're bang on time. It was a very smooth journey, very quiet though. We're just heading up to Oban. Just want to double check which platform it was today.
It's going to go from platform 7 today.
That's us well out of Glasgow now, making our way up to Oban. There are 13 stops in total, and the whole journey takes around 3 hours and 20 minutes. We will be stopping off along the way, but of course we want to get passengers' views on this route. And where better to start than a railway enthusiast we've just found. Robin, you've brought with you your very own piece of railway memorabilia. What have we got here?
We've got a railway watch. This would have been used by a guard. That's a British Rail Scottish Region one.
Are we on time at the moment?
Pleased to report we are.
So how does this compare to other routes? It sounds like it never gets old.
No, well, I've been watching some of the TV programmes of scenic journeys around the world, and this is up there with them. And there'll be views out of this window, down over the loch, and looking over towards Argarton, and then you'll get a view of the Cobbler. Fantastic.
The burning question we've got at the moment, we're slightly concerned that we are on the wrong section of the train. Can you put us out of our misery?
Yes, and so you're in the wrong part of the train. You'll have to move up to the front of the train.
Yes, please.
Hi there.
Hi, yeah.
Yes.
Going up to Oban, right?
Yeah.
That's fine.
Perfect. We're on the right carriage now.
Sure. That's the front to Oban.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Have you been working throughout the pandemic?
Yeah, I've been here. Yeah, sure. It's been hectic anyway.
Do you like working on this line in particular?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, I do love it. You see a lot of new people, like tourists and all that. People from all over the world traveling on this line.
What brings you on the train line here today?
We are taking a break from the West Highland Way. We're going to do a day trip to Oban to do some whiskey tasting.
So you're originally from California. How does the public transport network here compare to that back home?
It's like night and day, yeah. I mean, it's so much better here. Yeah, train travel in the US isn't there yet. Everybody drives. I've heard you don't have traffic jams here.
Oh, we do in some places. What do you think of the cost of the tickets? Do you think that was worthwhile, good value?
I think it's reasonable if you plan ahead. Yeah, it's a great value.
I'm going to climb Ben Cruachan. I would always take a train over bus. It's just easier and It's not as cheap, but it's nice, a nicer journey.
You're a fellow day tripper then, off to Bagam and Row.
Yeah, I don't really do like a lot of travelling up north or anything like that. Often I can find trains to be quite expensive.
So how much does it cost you in total then to travel up here today?
About £40, which is quite a lot. What you're paying for is really the view. I mean, it is a fantastic view all the way up.
So we're off to Oban.
We go on a boat trip and head up, maybe get some drinks outside.
Yeah.
Just enjoy the sunshine while it lasts.
Do you use this line quite a lot then?
Yeah, so we have a part-time job in Oban at the moment as well, which has been great because it just means that we get to take this beautiful train ride every day.
And not many people can say that this is their commute.
When you're in the car, you've got all the traffic, so on the train, you don't have all that, so it's really beautiful.
Yeah, and we've made friends via this commute, so we actually met on this train, so yeah.
Lines like these are usually bustling with visitors, but our survey shows that almost half of all Scots would not consider public transport for their next vacation. Also, 1 in 10 people said they never used public transport before the pandemic, and that number has now more than tripled. On lines like this in the north, people were the least likely to recommend buses and trains. Instead, they were much more reliant on cars.
We are now approaching Oban. Please mind the gap between the train and the platform.
Oban is the undisputed gateway to the Isles, and things have certainly ramped up again since lockdown has eased. 213 ferries arrive and depart from here every week, with a weekly average of around 11,000 passengers. A crucial service for both visitors and islanders.
One more car.
So you're heading to Mull, aren't you?
I actually live in Craignew, Isle of Mull, yeah.
So how often do you use the ferry?
Probably 3 or 4 times a week. You're very restricted what you can buy on the island, but the island's more directed towards tourists. But yeah, we do rely on CalMac coming backwards and forwards for our general day-to-day household goods.
How reliable is the service?
Very reliable. I think they've cancelled about 3 ferries in the last 12 months.
Where have you travelled from?
We're from Swansea in South Wales. And it's the first time we've been up to this part of Scotland and we're loving it. Way exceeded my expectations. Beautiful.
That's what we like to hear. What did you make of the cost of the ferry trips you've been on so far?
For 2 nights with a van and a caravan, 2 of us, and I think it was £72, which I think is pretty good. When you split that between 2 of us, that's very affordable.
Just come from Islay, and because all the ferries were booked up, we drove up from Kennaicraig up to here just now. It's hard to drive because you just want to look at everything. So yeah, it's incredible.
And have they been reliable so far, the ferries you've been on?
Yeah, we've been racing to get to them on time, but it's been fine.
With chocolate sauce as well. Well, to finish off our trip and to get a more rounded picture of Scottish public transport, we are heading back to Glasgow by bus. I better get my mask on. Hi there, how are you doing?
Good.
Single, please, to Glasgow. So how have things been over the last year?
It's been very, very quiet. We've only had, between 0 and 6 passengers. Certainly over the last month it's got a lot better, and hopefully it continues like that and we get the economy back up and running.
How was last year for you? Were you furloughed at all? What was the situation?
The first couple of months I was working, and then sadly my dad had passed with COVID, so I was off after that. We still haven't had a funeral for him, but hopefully at some point when things get easier and better and we're able to have something like that.
That's a bit of a stark reminder of what all of this has been
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
But hopefully things are looking brighter for the future of...
Yeah, I would think so, yeah. Even Scotland's got into the European Championship, so yeah, things are looking up, things are looking up.
You look familiar. We saw you on the train earlier. What happened?
Exactly. Well, we went to catch our train from Oban back to Bridge of Orkney, and it was cancelled. Well, I went online. There's no reason, and next train was tomorrow morning. And we thought it was totally reliable. So it was a bit of a surprise, but that's okay. It's all an adventure.
I know it's a single track, I don't know if that's what the problem is, but it happens too regular, too often. Something really needs to be done with it. It's not on. Okay, so as I say, just keep your receipts and get your money back, okay?
42% of the Scots we surveyed said they believed public transport was more expensive than driving. That's certainly been my experience today. These tickets set me back a total of £68. If I was driving, my fuel in total would have been about £23. But of course, it's not all about that. We've had a great day, enjoying the scenery, meeting passengers along the way, and of course not having to worry about the stresses and strains of driving ourselves. And for us, the journey has gone pretty smoothly, so it's definitely given me food for thought for how I would travel in the future.